The laughter hit me before the words did. Sharp, ugly, slicing straight through the joy I'd been carrying like a warm secret. I froze on the porch, one hand still on the doorknob, my lottery ticket tucked safely inside my coat. Then I heard my mother's voice, cold, amused, nothing like the woman who raised me. 5 million rubles, she won't keep a single kopeck. We'll take control before she wastes it. My father grunted in agreement. But it was the next voice, the last voice I expected, that made my stomach twist. My brother-in-law, Anton. Honestly, he said, chuckling, she's naive enough to hand it all over if we play it right. My breath left my body. My family plotting to strip me before I had even told them I'd won. The joy that had carried me home shattered like thin glass. My name is Alina Morozova, 27 years old, the quiet one, the dependable daughter who never caused trouble. And for once, I thought today would be different, my day. A miracle after years of scraping by. But standing there listening to them scheme, something inside me bent and then snapped. I pushed the door open slowly. Their voices fell silent. My mother turned first, eyes wide, as if she'd seen a ghost. Alina, how long have you been standing there? I smiled, calm, cold, dangerous. Long enough. You'd think a family only plots against you after years of chaos or resentment.
But mine?
They sharpened their knives quietly. Growing up, I was the responsible child, code for the one who sacrifices first and gets thanked last. My father called it duty. My mother called it love. I called it survival. Meanwhile, my older sister, Vera, married golden boy Anton, charming, smug, adored by my parents from the minute he stepped inside our house. To them, he was the son they never had. To me, he was a man who never missed a chance to remind me I was cute, but not impressive. When my sister moved abroad temporarily for work, Anton stayed behind to focus on business. My parents treated him like royalty. I pretended not to notice. I worked 2 jobs, paid my own rent, covered my own bills, never borrowed a ruble. They never cared. They only cared about Vera and whoever she was married to. So when my coworkers surprised me with cheering and cake after I discovered I'd won 5 million rubles, I cried. Not because of the money, but because for once someone was genuinely happy for me. But now, standing in the hallway facing the 3 people who were supposed to love me unconditionally, I felt the old pressure return, this time heavier, darker. My father cleared his throat. Alina, come sit. We need to talk. A conversation that would change everything. I stepped into the living room, the warmth of the house suffocating. They arranged themselves like judges, my father leaning forward, my mother folding her arms, Anton lounging with a confidence that made my skin crawl. My father spoke first. Alina, we heard something happened today. I raised an eyebrow. Did you? Or did you plan something today? My mother flinched, then forced a thin smile. Sweetheart, don't be dramatic. We were only discussing what's best for you. Anton nodded, as if he were some wise elder. 5 million rubles is a lot of money for someone your age. You'll burn through it fast. We can help you manage it. I stared at him. And by manage, you mean control. Silence. A guilty silence. My father's jaw tightened. This family sticks together. Money stays in the circle. The circle? I repeated. You mean your circle. The one I've never actually been part of. My mother's expression hardened. We're not asking Alina. You will transfer the winnings into our joint account. Temporarily. And Anton will handle the investments, my father added. There it was. The real plan. My pulse pounded, but outwardly I stayed still, observing their faces, each one dripping entitlement. Anton smirked. It's for your own good. My own good. Those words ignited something dangerous in me. Anton rose from the couch and walked toward me with the smugness of a man who thought he already owned everything in the room, including me. He placed his hand on my shoulder like he was comforting a child. Alina, he murmured, don't make this harder than it needs to be. You're not built to handle that kind of money. Let the adults take care of it. The word adults slapped me harder than any physical blow. My father nodded approvingly. My mother actually looked proud. They truly believed this was the natural order of things, my obedience, their entitlement. Then came the moment I will never forget. Anton leaned in, lowering his voice, so only I could hear. Besides, Vera doesn't need to know how much you won. Your sister already struggles with jealousy. We'll smooth it out for her. I stepped back, disgust rising like bile. So now you're planning to lie to her too? He shrugged. We lie for her, not to her. My mother's voice cut in sharply. Enough. Alina, hand over the ticket. When I didn't move, she snatched my purse off the table, digging through it as if I were a thief in my own parents' home. There, she exclaimed, pulling out the folded slip of paper. My miracle, my hope. She held it up triumphantly. Anton smirked. My father nodded, and I stood there, humiliated, powerless, for the last time in my life. Because in that moment, my revenge was born. My mother held the lottery ticket between her fingers as if she had earned it, as if my joy, my blessing, was nothing more than family property she was entitled to confiscate. Anton grinned like he'd already transferred the money into his own account. My father sighed with relief, believing the situation had been handled. But while they congratulated themselves, something inside me shifted. Humiliation cooled into clarity. Pain sharpened into precision. And beneath the stillness of my expression, a storm formed. I spoke softly, almost too softly. Take it then. They froze. Anton frowned, confused by how quickly I seemed to surrender. My mother blinked, unsure. Alina, don't be childish now. I'm not. And I meant it. Because they didn't know, couldn't know, that the paper in her hand wasn't the real ticket. It was a photocopy I had made earlier at work. The real one? Safe inside my boot, tucked against my ankle. They had just celebrated stealing nothing. I watched them fuss over the fake ticket, imagining themselves as millionaires, imagining control over my life. The more they fantasized, the more invisible I became in their eyes. Perfect. My revenge plan didn't require shouting, fighting, or chaos. It required silence, strategy, and patience. They wanted control? I would let them believe they had it, right up until the moment their entire world collapsed. Anton insisted that we celebrate, while he handled the paperwork. My mother placed the fake ticket into an envelope as delicately as if it were a newborn, while my father poured whiskey, humming in satisfaction. Perfect. Every second of their arrogance made my plan smoother. Alina, sit, my father said. Anton will drive you tomorrow to claim the prize. Then we'll take care of the account transfer. We. As if I no longer existed outside their blueprint. I nodded obediently. Of course. Inside, my mind was a blueprint of its own, cold, structured, flawless. Step 1. Let Anton take the fake ticket to the lottery office. Step 2. Watch him embarrass himself in front of officials when they declare it invalid. Step 3. Record everything. Step 4. Deliver the real ticket myself, quietly. Step 5. Move the entire fortune into an account neither my parents nor Anton could legally touch. Step 6. Detonate the truth at the perfect moment. Anton smirked at me from across the table. You're lucky, you know. Without us, that money would eat you alive. I smiled back. You're right. I'd be lost without you. He winked, misreading every word. Later that night, while my family slept, I slipped out of the house and walked straight to the lottery office's overnight drop box. I submitted the real claim in my own name. By morning, the wheels of my revenge were already turning, and none of them had the slightest clue. I was sipping coffee in my apartment when my phone exploded with calls, 5 from my mother, 3 from my father, and 1 furious, breathless voicemail from Anton. Perfect timing. The lottery office had opened, and Anton had walked in proudly, waving the photocopy like a royal decree, only to be told, in front of a full lobby, that the ticket was invalid. Not misplaced. Not damaged. Fake. His voicemail played on speaker as I stirred sugar into my cup. Alina, what the hell did you give us? They're saying it's a copy. Are you stupid? Do you realize how humiliated I am right now? Call me back now. I didn't. Instead, I opened the official email from the Lottery Corporation confirming my winning claim, my identity verification, and the transfer timeline for the funds. All in my name. Mine alone. Another call came in, my mother this time. When I finally answered, her voice was trembling with outrage. Alina, explain yourself. Anton looked like a criminal in there. They almost called security. I leaned back in my chair, calm as winter frost. I told you to let me handle my money. My father grabbed the phone. You tricked us. You lied. No, I said softly. I simply didn't let you steal from me. Their silence was delicious, terrified, foreshadowing the collapse still to come. Because the real twist? I wasn't done yet. The final explosion came 2 weeks later, right after the 5 million rubles landed safely in my private account. By then, my parents were cycling between rage, guilt, and desperate apologies. Anton, however, wasn't apologizing. He was unraveling. He showed up at my apartment unannounced, pounding on the door with the panic of a man whose ego had been publicly executed. Alina, open up. We need to talk. I opened the door just enough to see him, disheveled, furious, humiliated. What do you want, Anton? You ruined me, he spat. Your parents think I tried to scam them. Vera heard about everything. She's threatening divorce. Fix this. I stared at him with a calm that scared even me. Funny. You weren't worried about ruining my life when you tried to take my money. That was different, he snapped. We're family. Exactly, I said. So, you should have acted like it. He grabbed the doorframe, desperate. Alina, please. Talk to your sister. Tell her it was a misunderstanding. I smiled, slow and deliberate. I already did. His face brightened, then fell when I added. And I told her the truth. Every word. Vera left him that same week. My parents lost their perfect son. And me? I bought a small cottage by the lake. Quiet, warm mine. Sometimes I sit on the porch, watching the sun reflect in the water, and I think about that night on the doorstep, the moment joy twisted into betrayal. But in the end, I reclaimed everything. My dignity, my life, my future. Because revenge doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Never again.